Belson is a character who is notorious in the show for being rude, obnoxious, and just a straight up bully. However, there are some rare moments where we see a sincere and honest side to him. And there's no better example I can think of than the episode Belson Gets a Girlfriend. Shit, that might be the best intro I've ever written for one of these. The episode starts in the cafeteria where Jeff and Clarence discuss all the news going around the school. Jeff tells Clarence about the latest news on the streets, that Belson has a girlfriend named Pippy.
Pippy? Oh, Jeff, you're crazy.
Clarence, for the life of him, does not believe that he, of all people, would have a girlfriend. Not only because of his personality, but because in his eyes, he knows Belson so well that he would already know if he did. He kind of takes the role of the audience here because everything I said in the intro about Belson being obnoxious and rude is stuff the audience is very aware of. So it only makes sense that we would also have a hard time believing this news. This episode is in season 3, so Sumo has already moved to his new school at this point, meaning that there's a lot less chaos represented in these episodes where Sumo isn't present. Clarence himself seems way more laid back and chill when he's just with Jeff, which is a pretty cool detail to me. Clarence's disbelief at the fact that he has a girlfriend doesn't come off as mean or disrespectful either. It wouldn't make sense for it to be since he views Belson so highly and considers him a friend. It's more the fact that Belson has never shown any romantic interest to anyone in the show at this point, and again, he's not exactly the nice or romantic type. There's also this little subplot in the episode where Jeff tries to tell as many people about this as possible before this other character, Kimby, does. And I mean, it's fine. I wouldn't say I got too many laughs out of it, but it was something to follow alongside the A-plot. So the two of them get to the tree house where Clarence sees for himself that Belson is actually talking to a girl, and from the first interaction between the two of them that we see, it's way more clear as to why they would get along.
Whoa, what's this mistake of evolution?
Just where have you been hiding her? So, how'd you two lovebirds meet?
We met at a garbage dump.
She was eating trash.
And he was looking for a place to live.
She's just as sarcastic and just as mean as Belson. Their relationship is steeped in this sarcasm and lack of sincerity, as most of their dialogue is nothing but jokes and making fun of other people, Clarence in particular. Speaking of Clarence, he also notices this, and because he has a habit of sticking his nose in other people's business, he decides to tag along with them for the day and give them dating tips. Like most things he does this out of wanting to help them, but because Clarence is Clarence, he either ends up causing chaos or doing the exact opposite of help.
Seriously? I thought we were gonna hang out like, just the two of us.
It'll give us someone to make fun of.
Oh! Yeah, nice.
Plus, I think he's sort of cute.
Him?
This is the first little peep we get into how Belson actually views Pippy. If he didn't like her, he obviously wouldn't have taken offense to her calling Clarence cute or insisting he comes along, even if the whole idea is to make fun of him the whole time. It's a common theme with Belson-centric episodes. He takes a while to open up. We get this montage of the two going on different dating scenarios with Clarence third-wheeling in, pointing them in the right direction. They often end up doing the opposite of what the typical romantic thing to do would be. Instead, they do what the most fun or chaotic thing to do would be, and they end up having a ton of fun. It's a little bit crazy to see Clarence being the straight man of the episode, whereas Belson and Pippy are the ones causing all the chaos. But Clarence couldn't be any more proud.
You're the best!
It's pretty heartwarming to see Belson have so much fun here, because as a character, he's pretty grumpy most of the time, especially when Clarence is around. But he also seems like an afterthought to him in this part of the episode, which is a subtle way of showing just how much he likes spending time with Pippy. And it seems to be mutual, as Pippy returns the exact same energy, and has just as much fun as him, which only makes the rest of this episode hit home even more. So Clarence decides that it would be a good idea for Belson to quote-unquote propose to Pippy. She ends up taking the ring he gives him and putting it on a dog's tail, because of course she does, only further proving the lack of sincerity between the two. We then get this scene, and I'm not even gonna lie, shit got deep out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting this the first time I watched it.
Everyone hates you. All the people. You're too scared to make friends with anyone because you think people won't like you. So you're petty all the time. And you're right. They wouldn't like you if you tried.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, I'm just kidding. Whoa, I got you.
good one.
I love how this scene just perfectly captures that feeling of someone telling a joke that hit just a little bit too close to home. But on a serious note, this scene was actually handled very well. It pretty much sums up Belson's problems when dealing with relationships, non-romantic ones included, as well as how having a relationship built on sarcasm and mean-spirited jokes can backfire. She straight up tells him all of his flaws, why he never makes meaningful relationships with anyone, and then plays it off as if it was just a joke. Right after Belson almost completely folded at the possibility that Pippy might actually want Belson to be sincere for once.
I'd never tell you something lame like, ooh, I like you.
You wouldn't?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, maybe.
I don't know, maybe. Dude, I'm totally messing with you.
He gets so close to actually being genuine with how he feels here, but the minute she gives him that way out, he takes it. Now, I'm not going to put too much blame on Clarence for what happens here because it's a well-established fact that Clarence doesn't read social cues very well, so suggesting the idea would make sense for him. He couldn't have possibly anticipated Belson folding like he did, or Pippy being as ruthless as she was. Belson surprisingly ends up confiding in Clarence for a brief moment here, telling him that he doesn't know what's going on or what to do from here. And Clarence drops some much needed advice, telling him that he should just be real with her. These kids are like 10 years old. Does all this relationship stuff happen that early? Like, this is crazy to me. You get this fun makeover scene and I can't lie, Clarence might have had the right idea with the hair. I really mess with this. There's also this scene where Jeff tries to get info from Pippy and she straight up just tells him to fuck off. Again, you can really see why Belson would like her. Anyways, Belson goes up to her, looking dapper as fuck, and reads her this poem from an anniversary card that does not apply to them at all, and the most embarrassing thing that could happen to any man in this situation happens.
What are you doing, dude? You look ridiculous.
Just gotta feel bad for my guy. Belson then proceeds to do what most men would do in this situation to get over it, and goes to the gym. Again, not going to blame anyone in this scenario here because they are both kids who have no understanding of what they're getting into here. It makes sense for Belson to feel hurt and confused, considering that he's never been in this position where he has to be sincere and tell someone what he actually thinks of them, as opposed to putting on this unbothered and cool act that he usually does. This next scene here is the perfect example of how the show can take its rather small scope and use it to create these touching moments. Here, Pippy gets on this mini train in the shopping mall, literally just goes around in a circle, and Belson runs after it while he spills his true feelings about her. It perfectly parodies the kind of scene you would see in a sappy romance movie near the end, with the added comedy of it being in a mall of all places. I do have to question how slow he's running considering he can't catch up to the train, because if you ever saw one of these in real life, you'd know how slow they are. Matter of fact, how did he... Nah, hold on, I'm getting sidetracked. We finally get to see Belson actually tell Pippy why he likes her, and while his reasoning may not be conventional, it works because, as he probably should have known, she likes him for the exact same disgusting reasons he does.
And you're too short, like a little mushroom kid, and well, I like that too. And I like how sweaty your pits get in the afternoon, and your weird golden leg hairs that stick straight out. And you know, maybe telling you this stuff does make me scared, but... Well, I don't, whatever.
They did a great job of slowly breaking down Belson's whole character from this sarcastic person to being able to confront how he actually feels about the people around him. It's especially satisfying if you've been following the show since the beginning, and it sucks that an episode like this comes right before the end of the show, so we can't really see how his character could have changed from here. But what I can say is, 1, this episode is a great lesson in being sincere, and 2,
I think I get it. Sometimes, two kids who like each other try to buy a cookie pie with pennies, but the cookie guy doesn't want to count them all, so they get the cookie pie for free.